A child abandoned at a South Haven Goodwill store has been identified tonight. The child's been identified, and a suspect is now in custody.
She claims he was kidnapped by a man who tried forcing her into prostitution and then left her stranded in another city.
Like, you knew I didn't have no money, before we even came this way. He was like, well, I tell you what, since you ain't got no money, he gonna say, you think I'm finna go back to Memphis and you ain't got no money? He was like, you better get out there and sell some ASS and all that type of stuff. I told him, I'm not doing nothing. That's not what I came here for.
The moment's captured on camera. A masked man in a hat walks the 2-year-old boy we now know is named Sergio through a gas station parking lot around 9:50 this morning. They're bound for this Goodwill drop-off location, where the man leaves the boy with a Goodwill employee. He doesn't give anyone's name, just a vague explanation.
Actually, can we take the baby in because the mother abandoned him?
This story is evolving quickly. Police tell me that the man who believed to have dropped that child off is in custody. The child was dropped off, the 2-year-old, at this Goodwill donation center on State Line Road.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Nique, and you're tuned in to Nique at Night. And tonight we're going to be talking about this story that kind of went viral over Facebook of this Memphis boy who was dropped off at a Goodwill and left there. And it just is a whole heaping hot mess. The mom is speaking out about it, and she's telling her side of the story. But before we get to the call of her telling her side of the story and more details on this situation, let me just give you guys a little bit more background. So basically, this little boy was taken into a Goodwill. He was left there. A guy said, hey, I'm just leaving this boy here. The mama abandoned him, and I can't do nothing with him. So y'all take him. Y'all have him. So this guy takes him to Goodwill. And so then obviously the authorities get brought into question. CPS gets involved. The boy gets scooped up. And then the mom comes forward claiming that she did not abandon her child.
There were 3 adults with that little boy when they first pulled in here to this gas station. One of those men then walks the boy over to this Goodwill drop-off location, leaves him with an employee, and tells that employee that the boy's mother abandoned him. Tonight, though, that boy's mother says she never abandoned her son. In fact, she says it's quite the opposite.
Okay, so the mom first took to social media on her Facebook that has now been deactivated. I'm glad I got my screenshots before then. But anyways, so she took to Facebook and she said, mine all over the place. I don't need no calls right now. Things that happen when you don't want to F with a no good MFer. Y'all please pray for me. I don't need the negativity. MFer dropped my baby off at a store because I wouldn't be his trick and left me in Nashville, Tennessee. Anybody that know me know how I feel about my baby. I don't want nobody feeling sorry for me. This is the truth. Sergio, mama love you and I'm on the way. So after she came forward and was saying that, the guy who dropped her kid off wanted her to be his trick, blase, blase, there was a bunch of social media detectives under her comments, and they were badgering her, and they were like, this photo that I have on the screen, they were like, this is a woman, and they were trying to say like that was her, and then they were like, you took your son to there and you abandoned him, yada, 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 all this stuff. And so many people was badgering her and blaming her for this happening to her son and her son being left at the Goodwill. So I was looking at the photo and I'm like, if y'all don't see the penis print in front and the build of a man, like, I'm going to need some of y'all social media detectives to get y'all eye checked before y'all try to be detectives. Because if y'all would have seen under her comments, it was so many people like, no, this is you. This is a woman. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, what? It's crazy. But a lot of people were badgering her and they were saying like this was her that was dropping her son off and, yada, yada, yada. She didn't deserve her child, blase, blase, blase. And it was just a lot of people coming for her. So she then said, I know I hurt a lot of people, but just know I'm okay. And I'm going to get my baby by any means necessary. I might bend, but I'll never fold. So keep the negative comments to yourself. Okay? And then obviously there was more and more and more people judging her, saying that she's to blame for why her baby was dropped off at Goodwill. She didn't deserve her child, blase, blase, blase. And so after that, she decided to pop off on people coming for her and said, Y'all bees under my status with the BS, please stand down. Today is not the day, especially if y'all garden tools don't know me. That's my MFing baby, the F you thought. I don't give a F who you are. Like my cousin said, F Facebook. I love you, cuz, for that. My support system is strong. Know that. I said what I said. Let me and God has for, wait, what? Let me and God has for this. I don't know what that means, but okay. So she also then talked to a Memphis activist on the phone. I'm going to play the recording in a minute. But first, let me give you guys the update on the man who was captured for dropping her child off. And then we're going to get into the who, what, when, and the why.
The man was actually picked up in Shelby County at a Kroger in Trinity Commons, and he apparently resisted arrest, according to police, ramming Shelby County police car or Shelby County deputies' cars, as well as running over Christmas decor.
So he has been arrested. He resisted arrest. He tried to ram the folks off. But when this went down and he dropped the boy off, there was a woman that was with him, and this woman is not the mom. So she, from my understanding, is still at large. All of the news reports that I've seen, it made mention of the guy being arrested, but it made no mention of this woman who was with him, and it made no mention of her being arrested as well. But anywho, so the mom decided to talk to a Memphis activist by the name of Barbara Burris, and this is her explanation as to what happened.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mohawk, I was letting you know that we are live. We are live. And so everything I'm doing is because the public and I have been in this from the beginning. And the baby is on our mind right now, as well as you. So can you start by telling us what happened?
I left with a friend guy. I've been knowing him for a minute. But we ended up contacting back with each other. So we decided, he was like, I want to show you a good time. So we decided to come to Nashville, have a couple of drinks just to get out of town. So by my baby couldn't come, he ended up, I'm going to let my sister keep the baby. So I'm feeling like, okay, that's fine. But when we get to Nashville, go to the bar and stuff and get ready and leave, he was like, you ain't got no money or nothing like that. I was like, you knew I didn't have no money, before we even came this way. He was like, well, I tell you what, since you ain't got no money, he gonna say, you think I'm finna go back to Memphis and you ain't got no money? He was like, you better get out there and sell some ASS and all that type of stuff. I told him, I'm not doing nothing. That's not what I came here for. I said, if I would have knew that, I would have got my baby and, stayed where I was. This is my first time letting my baby, just stay anywhere because I don't trust people, and I done been through this situation before with my other 4 kids.
Okay, hold on. I think I misunderstood you. Where was the baby at this point when y'all got ready to go? What did you do with the baby?
He took him over his sister, over his granddad and grandma's house where his sister was.
Oh, so you knew him for a while. Y'all linked back up, and then he took the baby over his grandma's house? Where his sister... I went with him. Where his sister... I went with him. Okay, where his sister was in Memphis? And you left the baby with his sister? Okay, go on.
And so I guess when he got mad after that, he was like, I'm gonna be real with you. That I knew it was a catch when he said, he was like, I'm gonna be real with you. That's my girlfriend keeping your baby. I'm like, really? If I knew that, I said I wouldn't have left my baby like that. Ain't no way I would have left my baby. That's all I got with me. You know what I'm saying? He keep me on my toes. He keep me motivated because my other kids, they've been through this too. Same particular stuff, But ended up, so after that point, he was like, drop me off at a store. He was like, you can get out. You ain't riding back to Memphis with me and ain't got no money. You going to have to do something. He was like, you can get out of my truck for real. And I got out the truck. I stood at a store for like some hours. The store was finna close. So they were like, ma'am, you can't be standing up here on the property. I was like, okay. So I seen somebody, they stopped. They were like, you need a ride. I was like, just drop me off at a store somewhere.
Hold on. Stop right there. For the live, tell us who you are and what your name is, because people will be mean and think that this is made up. Who are you?
Okay. My name is Antoinette Smith.
Antoinette Smith. And what's your name on Facebook?
My name on Facebook is Mo.
Okay. All right, Antoinette Smith. And we want to get your baby some justice, and we want to get you justice too. So I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
And so I ended up going to another store. I stood there from like 12 to like 4 o'clock this morning, and it was like two Arab, Mexican Arab men or something. They was parked at the store. They were like, "You been out here a long time. You new around here." I was like, "I'm not from around here. My ride left me." So they was like, "You can sit in the car, you know, keep warm or whatever like that." So I'm like, okay, because I'm so many miles from home. But they ended up parking at this little place down here in Nashville. What they, I guess, if you homeless, but it was just for the men only. So he just ended up parking in the parking lot. He was like, "You just lay on the back seat and get you some rest until in the morning." So that's what I did. They was nice. They were friendly. They were willing to take me home. I was like, I got my baby, you know, and I laid there. I went to sleep like 9 o'clock. We woke up. He dropped me off at another store. So I was standing out, and a dude seen me. He was like, "You okay?" I was like, "No, I'm really not okay." I said, "I'm just depressed." I said, "I'm here by myself. Don't know people. Got left. My baby in Memphis. I'm concerned." And he was like, "Well, I can take you to my house, and, you know, my wife, you know, she'll help you out, you know, take you a bath and stuff like that." I was like, "Okay." So I've been over here since then.
Okay, so you there, and what you need now is a way to get home, right?
I have to get home.
Okay, so
Okay, so that's the conversation that the mom had with the Memphis activist Barbara Burris. There was a couple of things that kind of stuck out to me. So basically, she linked up with this guy. She said that this happened prior with her 4 other children. So I was kind of confused as to what happened prior. I don't know if she meant like they ended up in CPS, or they got her 4 other kids ended up with somebody they wasn't supposed. I didn't understand what she meant by that. But when I was reading through the comments of her post when she was first posting that she was on her way to her child, there was several comments of people saying that she has other children and she does not have custody of them. So I'm assuming maybe that's what she meant, but I wasn't really clear. But anyways, but what is known is what she said is basically, you know, she went to hang out with this guy. He told her, "All right, boom, we gonna drop your baby off with my sister," who I guess was his people house. And then they went and drove 2 hours away from where they were to Nashville, I guess. And then when they went there, that's when he told her, after they, you know, was hanging out, that she needed to hit the blade. Now, she claiming that, you know, no, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to sell no kunta for him. And then he put me out. She then says that she waited in somebody's car until the next morning or whatever, but she made no mention of her trying to call to get in contact with her child. She made no mention of her saying that she called the police, like telling them, you know, to go get her child, or that she was in distress or anything like that. So that's basically what she said. But there was people also, you know, the TB in the comments, child. There was somebody who said that she concocted this story and made it up and said that, you know, this was her excuse as to why. Because she at first said that she had got or the guy had kidnapped her baby or something like that. And a person had came forward, and this is what they had to say. Now, I can't verify that anything that they are alleging is true. So this is allegedly, okay? But I'm just going to read you the full tea, and then that'll be that. So a guy comes forward, like I said, and he was commenting under the thread, and he says that the dude is her so-called in. She been doing that ish for a while now. She wasn't kidnapped at all. I just talked to her. She just said that to cover her F up. So somebody said, so she's really a prosty? And he says, yes, she is. And then they said, I just read that she has 8 kids. Is that so? Or do you know? I'm just so thankful the little guy wasn't harmed. So he replies and he says, yes, I've been knowing this girl for years, but yes, she does. She lost 2 of them and only have custody of the baby boy that everyone's talking about. The other kids are with their dads. So the person responded and they said, people are saying she has a lot of stuff on her Facebook, but I can't find her by that name. I ran across a comment her dad made, but I don't remember what his name was. Hopefully they will make her change her life if it's like that. All anyone can do is pray for her. So he responded and said, amen to that, but she's not and don't want to change and get herself together. But I feel like she needs to be prosecuted for her actions because it's all a lie about her being kidnapped. And this I know for a fact. So I asked her, why did she say she gotten kidnapped? She laughed at me and said, I had to tell the public something, and that's what I'm sticking with. So she has no remorse for what she did. Okay, and then somebody was letting the woman above know that she has since deleted her Facebook, which she has. All right, so that's the back and forth on the story. We got what the report says, we got what the mom says, and we got what the T in the comment is alleging. So I feel as though I've covered enough. We can wrap it up there. But since this had went viral on Facebook somewhat, I wanted to cover it here and give you guys the back and forth of what she said, what they said, what is being said, and what the news articles said all together in one video. But you guys let me know what you think about this situation. This is a mom who allegedly, according to the person in the comments, has 8 children. When I went on her Facebook and was looking through it for myself, I seen that she did have several children. I just didn't count them up. And it appears that, you know, she admittedly said in the phone call that this happened with her other kids. I didn't get clarity as far as what she meant by what happened with her other children. So, and the Memphis activist who she was talking to on the phone, she had like later linked up with her. She had went and drove to her house once she had made it back, and they were talking, and I guess they had like prayer, and the Memphis activist had came forward and said that she can't really speak further on the matter, but you know, to pray for the woman. So it doesn't look like she willy-nilly just got her son right back. So that's that on the story. You guys let me know what you think about this situation. What do you think about it overall? And I guess I'll see you guys in the comments and on my next video. If you have not hit that subscribe button, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. If you see stories going viral on Facebook, DM your girl and let me know about it, okay? What else? Oh, and visit my website, nique@nite.com, to support me and buy some merch. Okay. All right, guys. Peace.